And let's just do this. Check it out.
Yeah.
What you are seeing is the website Parlay. This is, I guess it's the conservative refuge. They banned, I guess people have been using it a whole lot. I signed up a year ago. I never really used it. But they banned Katie Hopkins, I think.
Yeah.
That's who it was, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, everybody flooded in. And guess what? You've got a bunch of persona non grata types who have been banned from everywhere else that are active here. So Parlay is seemingly the place to be.
Yeah.
But for me, I couldn't fit 880 characters on Twitter.
Yeah.
So I wrote this on Parlay. Check out.
I like doing this too. I like doing exclusive Parlay stuff.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, it's a blog post. You know,
Yeah,
Twitter is like two. I couldn't fit it.
little essay.
Right, go ahead.
But this was right. This was more conversational. So here's what I wrote. You ready for this? What happens at the end of this year? How does the Civil War start? Someone sent me this message, and this is what I crafted from it. November 4th, 2020. Michigan turns red, giving Trump just enough Electoral College votes to win re-election. Governor Whitmer intervenes and decides that the Electoral College votes should go to the popular vote winner. Democrats declare victory. Republicans declare victory. Both sides accuse each other of cheating. Democrats insist the state has the right to choose, and Republicans file suit. Far leftists go insane in the streets, smashing and destroying things. Republicans sit at home, crossing their fingers. SCOTUS will side with them. Order breaks down completely. Trump invokes Insurrection Act to quell the violence. Democrats insist this is it. Trump is trying to take over just like we warned. Civil War 2.0. This is just an extremely pessimistic view of what could happen. It's extremely unlikely. Someone emailed me making this point, and I thought it was interesting.
Oh man, the optimism in me is like, oh, I gotta shoot this down. No, it's not gonna happen.
The reason why
But
thought
it could actually, it's very viable.
well, so
frighteningly so.
This is why I thought about highlighting this point is that I've heard a lot of things, a lot of talk of what starts a civil war. This made the most sense.
Absolutely.
How
it
do
does
you-
make a lot of sense.
Both sides declare victory.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of comments from people who are saying things like, I wouldn't have believed it a year ago. I wouldn't have believed it 2 years ago.
Yep.
It's 2020. Anything is possible.
Yep.
I bring you now to two stories which show me it's possible.
Oh,
First, a Democratic state senator was brutally beaten by the far left. So we'll get more in depth into this, but I want to highlight the fact that the violence has reached a point where elected officials are being beaten in the street.
Wow.
Yeah.
Listen, you can talk about Antifa and the Proud Boys and like, who cares? It's someone throwing a brick through a window. Oh, it's some dude stealing from a storefront. No, this was a Democratic state senator who was out and seeing these riots, tried to take a picture, a film, a video, and they ran up and started beating the crap out of him. He locked himself in his office, I guess. So that's where we're at right now. They tore down a statue of an abolitionist. It is well beyond anything making sense.
Yeah, they don't make any sense.
An
They see a statue and they're like, we gotta bring it down.
Yep. Even if it was their side, they're just literally. It's like the far left is a fire.
Yeah, it's proving that it has nothing to do with any sort of message they're trying to put across. They're just trying to burn the system down.
The people themselves are the fire.
Yep.
They're just whatever they can grab onto and destroy gets destroyed. It's like it's a zombie horde, man.
Yeah,
they're going around just
basically.
beating and biting and stomping. So we'll come back to this later, but I wanted to highlight this because this shows the level of violence.
Yeah.
Where
We're already
Democrats. What would have happened?
And it's the end of June.
What do you think would have happened if that was a Republican?
I don't know.
And the mob came up and started punching and striking them?
He'd be dead.
Who would be dead?
How would they know, though?
No. The Republican wouldn't be dead.
No? Oh, he'd fight back, you think?
No.
They'd beat him harder?
I think the protesters would be dead.
You don't,
I think the
he'd fight
Republican
back.
would be wearing a
Yeah.
cowboy hat and
Yeah,
he'd be
yeah.
like, bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, he'd fight back.
Fight back is one way of putting it.
Yes, that's a nice
So
way to
I
put
don't
it.
look. Would a Wisconsin Republican, have a sidearm, or I don't even know what the legality is in Wisconsin.
I don't either.
I just think you're substantially more likely to see a Republican armed for a lot of reasons. I'm also surprised this guy didn't have armed security. Democrats love doing that, especially in the Midwest. Now it's not Chicago, but in Chicago,
I'm sure they're gonna wisen up now.
Yeah.
Yep.
Nancy Pelosi's probably like, wait a minute.
Oh, dude.
That's not what we contracted those people to do.
She's got armed guards. They all do. They tell you can't. That's one thing that's always bothered me in Chicago.
Yeah.
And it's something my dad used to say, and we're like Chicago liberals. He'd be like, it's pretty funny. They'll tell you can't have a gun, but then they can carry around theirs, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I think in Chicago the aldermen are legally allowed to carry too.
Really?
I could be wrong about that. This is a long time ago. I was a kid. But anyway, this is just to showcase the violence, right? State senator attacked by protesters as demonstrations turned by protesters.
Demonstrations.
Dude, it is a mob
Those
beating
aren't
a politician.
protesters. Those aren't protesters.
Those are rioters.
There's
I know.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't even
There's
want-
protesters, and then there's like rioters that are taking over and burning stuff down.
Yeah.
Those people aren't the protesters that are protesting legitimately.
Right.
There's a huge difference.
These
Stop
people-
clumping them up, news. What are you doing?
That's what they do.
Yep.
But that brings me to the next bit,
Oh.
which should be the worrying part of all of this.
Yeah.
Could it be that some state, now Michigan was maybe the wrong choice. I chose Michigan because Governor Whitmer is very awful.
Well, aren't they
say
trying
the
to
least.
boot her?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't there like...
There's recall petitions in a ton of
Yeah,
places.
yeah.
Check this out. What you are seeing is the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact. Have you heard of this?
I have not, no.
Yeah, you have heard of this?
I have. We've talked about it.
Oh, I've talked about this a whole lot.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the general idea. A bunch of, for the most part, blue states believe that the popular vote winner should be the president. But the current system is that the states choose their electorates and then the electoral votes go to whoever, right?
Okay.
Here's their plan. Instead of abolishing the Electoral College, we all agree that if we have 270 votes between our pact, then we all give our votes to the popular vote winner, regardless of what the states vote for. It is one of the stupidest ideas I have ever heard. These people clearly have not thought things through. You know why?
How come?
Right now, California has 55 electoral votes.
Okay.
When will it ever give those to a Republican? Never. You know why? Because it is what, 65 to 70% blue. I think it's 70% blue.
Hugely. Yeah.
Meaning right now, on its own, it will always be blue.
Good point.
They decided to do this National Popular Vote Compact because they think the Republicans can never win the popular vote. Could you imagine what would happen in the streets of California if Donald Trump won the popular vote and California went, we have to give it to Trump now?
Oh, man.
2024.
Yeah.
They get all the electoral votes. They have enough states now. So they have 270 votes. It's guaranteed. And they're all laughing, saying, no, we will always have Democrats. And then Trump Jr. wins. And then California goes, I know that 75% of you voted for, Swalwell.
Yeah.
Cheat election. Cheat an election. But because of this compact, we've got to give all of those votes to Trump Jr. now. There's nothing to make California give Republicans votes. The only thing this does is it is create the possibility that blue states, solid blue states, will give their votes to a Republican. It's the stupidest idea I've ever heard.
Yeah.
But they're thinking that they can win once they get the popular vote. It'll never go Republican again. That's wrong. It's insane. Because Republicans could certainly just alter parts of their platform.
That's a good point.
But here's the bigger point. Right now, they have 196 electoral votes guaranteed in the compact. They need 120, and these are pending, meaning we're really close to them getting this.
Wow.
However, let me read this for you. They say the National Popular Vote Interstate Compact is an agreement among a group of U.S. states and D.C. to award all their electoral votes to whichever presidential candidate wins the overall popular vote in the 50 states and the District of Columbia. The compact is designed to ensure that the candidate who receives the most votes nationwide is elected president, and it would come into effect only when it would guarantee that outcome. And that's the main point. What if November 3rd, everybody goes and votes?
Yeah.
November 4th, Moody's Analytics, this is pre-pandemic, mind you, said that with maximum historical turnout, Democrats win by only a few electoral votes. And that with normal turnout, Trump will win heftily, to say the least.
Yeah.
Let's say because of COVID, it becomes very, very close. And because of mail-in voting, turnout is really high. But the Democrats come shy of about 30 votes. So California says, but because we signed this compact, if we give our votes to the national popular vote winner, it would guarantee the outcome, like it says.
Yeah, but that feels awful lot like California's just picking who the president is instead of the people.
Well, they don't know who's
Or
going
the
to win.
system.
They don't know who's going to win the popular vote.
Oh, they wouldn't.
They see it and then say, if we switch, then Democrats win. Okay.
Well, they can't enact it unless it guarantees the outcome. So they have to at least there's a check to see.
So let's
they
say
would know.
So let's say when it comes to election night,
Okay.
everyone votes, and California sees that if they give their electoral votes to the popular vote winner, it will guarantee the outcome.
That's exactly what it sounds like. California's picking the president, not the American public.
But it could be Georgia, it could be Illinois, it could be New York. I'm just using them as an example.
Well, any of those examples I don't like because,
Well,
again, it's putting it on one state to make the choice.
Right.
That's not okay for me.
Any one of these states could arguably be like, well, our state chooses otherwise. The Supreme Court's apparently going to rule on what's called a faithless elector.
Oh,
Someone on an electoral vote who decides to vote a different direction. You're not supposed to do that, apparently. So I don't think what they're saying here actually strikes at the heart of what the compact is. The compact is supposed to be that if you can guarantee 270, then you all give your votes to the popular vote. How much you want to bet after everything the Democrats have done with every scandal? They're not trying to. They're going back to the China thing. China that
really
Trump.
Trying.
Yep, they're trying. It's ridiculous.
They really think that Trump's working with China.
No, they're lying.
I know, but it's like, that's ridiculous. He's like the most outspoken anti-China everything.
Yeah.
Like, we got to bring it back to us. Like, how is that? Oh my gosh.
So think about it, man.
That's so silly.
Doesn't it seem plausible that one of these states will just be like, because of the NPVIC, we are going to give our votes to Joe Biden, and then all the Republicans will say, no, we won the Electoral College.
Yep.
Now, to be fair, California already gives its votes to the Democrat. That's a bad example.
Right.
A better example is a swing state like Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, or Michigan. That's why I use Michigan in the first place. Let's say Michigan goes red, but then they say, yeah, but Biden won the popular vote, so we should give our electoral votes to him. It's the will of the people.
Good song.
Yeah, good song. Then Donald Trump and the Republicans say, no, we won fair and square. The people have spoken.
Yeah.
Then they start arguing 11% of the population should not elect a president. And then both sides say they're winners. Then what? You know what I think?
Boogaloo 2, baby.
Every single police officer in every major city will with a smile and a handshake, break the Constitution, enforce unconstitutional edict.
For who?
For the governors.
So whatever the government, whether the governor is Democrat, they'll go for whatever they're saying. Or Republican, they'll do whatever.
I think in big cities, the cops will just do whatever they're told, even if it violates the Constitution. I 100% believe that. We already saw it happen. When COVID happened, look, when they tried enacting the gun control stuff in Virginia, what did the sheriff say? Nope.
Not going to do it.
Never going to do it.
Yeah.
And we've seen stuff, I think it was like in Oregon too.
Yeah, there were a few places that's happened.
The small town cops and sheriffs are like, never going to happen. You can't make me do it.
Yep.
But the big city cops, like a few miles from here with that gym, the cops with a smile on their face walk up and say, how's it going, ma'am? Oh, that Constitution? I lit it on fire a long time ago. Now you're under arrest. I did a southern accent for New Jersey.
I don't know. That was weird.
Well,
Yeah, no.
It is South Jersey.
That's true.
Does that count?
They talk more like this. Hey, you don't get no constitutional rights here. Get out of here.
That's
That's
Long
better.
Island.
Is it Long Island?
That's New York. That was more New York.
I have no idea what
North
people
Jersey,
in New Jersey talk like.
it's the same, actually.
It's the same.
It's all the
It's all the
same.
same.
So what happens if it comes to this? I think the conservatives and moderates have proven they're unwilling to fight at all. Period.
Mm-hmm.
They're sitting back. Some of them are paying attention. Like, people like you guys watching for the most part pay attention. That's why I did the rant, the other day.
Yep.
But I was mentioning, I had a conversation today with a very ardent Trump supporter who was just like, we're going to win. It's fine. We're going to win. And I'm like, you really think so? I was like, I don't know. AOC just won her primary, like landslide. Nah, we're going to win. And I'm like, they're burning down buildings and tearing down the founding fathers.
I mean,
no one's doing anything about it.
She was going against a Republican today or yesterday or another Democrat for the spot.
Centrist Democrat.
So that's not really the same thing. It's like, just because she won just means that there's Democrats that prefer her over the other Democrat. That's not saying much.
These are the activist Democrats too,
right.
The ones who are willing to go to a primary.
Yeah, exactly.
The issue is, I don't know, man. If the Democratic voter base that is not activist is unwilling to vote in a primary, why would they vote against her in general? If they're not paying attention, they're not paying attention.
But that's not the point that I was making, though. They're not going up against the Republicans, or they weren't yesterday, but they will be. So the Republicans that do show up and vote, all these activist Democrats are going up against that group, and that's a much bigger group. So AOC, it's not going to be as easy to win. She's probably awfully comfortable. I'm just making that point, though. That's who she's going up against.
79% of that district is swings Democrat. So can the other group, which is not entirely Republican, it's also somewhat independent.
Who knows?
Will they get up and vote against her? My point is, if she has that level of Democrat, when it comes time to vote, I really don't see Republicans getting up and voting. In New York 14, they don't care.
Yeah.
They're not going to do anything. The Republican in 2018 didn't even have a website, apparently.
Really?
Yeah. They don't even bother. It's like, listen, man, I can understand you think it's a foregone conclusion or whatever. But if you aren't even running, why would anyone vote for you?
good
So
point.
you wonder why NY14 is D plus 29. Well, maybe it would be D plus 10 if actual Republicans voted and actually talked to the community.
Yeah.
But in so many of these places, no one wants to invest any money or time or energy explaining very simple things. And the funny thing is, a lot of these people in the city are very religious, especially in this area, which is very Latino.
Yeah.
A lot of abuelitas, Christian, Catholic, or otherwise.
Well, I mean, the left is basically burning down, trying to burn down Jesus now. So it's like maybe they might come around.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. If you want to catch the full show, tune in to this channel, subscribe, hit the like button, or check us out on iTunes and Spotify. And we will soon have this podcast up for free on all podcast platforms. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all in the next episode.